Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We have Secret Lives of Color number 28. I have a tidy up assignment for you, and I went through my Midnight Moon process, actually sewing it, and I love it. So I'm going to show you exactly what I set up and give you my thoughts on that. So first, let's do, the color is shocking pink. Shocking pink. So there's a whole story about a socialite, editor, woman of the day, called Daisy Fellows. And so now I need to read up on her. But let's say real life is much more complicated and crazy than fiction can ever be. Just nuts. So shocking pink is a color we quilters can get behind. I am using this piece of fabric that I've had for a while, and as you can see, I think I had just this fat quarter, and this is the only thing I've used of it is for the block today. There is a beautiful little strawberry in there, so I fussy cut that out. So cute. I did find some of this fabric, so I'll have a link below if you want. There wasn't much, it was just a couple of yards at one of the shops, so you can get it if you want it. Now my block is the medium size block, which will go in this spot of row 2, and then next week will be the little block, finish row 2, add it to row 1. Yes, so that'll be where I am. Okay, what is your tidy up? I'm going to make it easy. The tidy up is very, very specific. I want you to take one basket and get it organized, disperse its things to where they should be. And this basket could be not just, think of it as expanded. It could be a drawer, it could be a shelf. Just pick one very tight, specific thing. Like I have a basket down here. Let me just grab it. Oops. So I have this basket of fabrics that and some other stuff because I was going to do kind of a project and it never happened, and it's been down here, and I'm not using these fabrics because they're all kind of stuck here. I don't think I'm going to do this project, so this is the one I'm going to look at. I'm going to disperse these fabrics into the color areas where they should be, and then take the tools out of here and then store something else in the basket, because I really, it's wasteful at this point. You know, it's just taking up room, and I have not looked in there or done anything with that stuff, and I don't think I will. I think that project kind of, you know, I thought I'd do it, and then I decided, nah, I didn't really want to. And that happens, But you might have a drawer you need to tackle. You might have a shelf that's chaos. So pick that very tight, specific thing today for your tidy up. Okay, so by Jove, I think I've got it. The Midnight Moon. I went through what I told you I was going to set up, and so here it is in all its glory and detail. Well, I need to think through the best way to cut out the Midnight Moon, the different blocks, so that I can do them later on. I don't want them to get too jumbled up, the pieces. And I don't really have a good way to store trays. Like the gals at the at Moda, Tammy at Moda was using these great bamboo trays, which I actually have some of those, and they are wonderful, but I don't have a place to stack them. So I'm thinking I'm going to try another method. I'm going to use the design boards. So right now I have to cut, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to cut 8 blocks. So I have to cut 8 blocks. I've got 3 of these small design boards. They actually fit right in the top of the rolling case if there's no red basket in it. So I can just lay them in there. Maybe I need a couple more of these. But anyways, I can start with these because I don't have to lay the block out. I can just group the pieces on here, like, so I can do 2 on each one. And I'm probably going to sew one, so that I can use a bigger board for that. But this is how I want to put them to hold on to them until I'm ready to sew, because I want to cut everything each week, which will only be 6 blocks each time. So this will work out perfectly if it works out. Well, because like I said, I'm also going to sew, and I can grab one of the bigger ones to do what I'm sewing with, and that doesn't have to lay in the tray. So it's more the storage issue and where I will position it so that I can get to it easily. It's not tucked away in a box somewhere. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. What I have to do is the large block for, I have to cut the large block for this one and this one. So those 2 larger block pieces, and then the medium and the small for this, and then for week number 2 I have to cut all 3. This is what I'm doing right now, so that's all the pieces I have to cut. So what do I have done here? I also have these little gems, these little pieces here, which I want to trim all to the size for the setting, which is this one. Whoops, he's been trimmed. So these all have to go in something. I grabbed a couple of plastic bags because I think all of these trimmings can go in here. Plus I have just, these were from the quarter square triangle. This was what was left from here. So these could be, there's some squares that have to be cut. There's some flying geese units. So I will just not sew these. I will just save these. So I think all of these, I'll trim these first today, and they can all go in a plastic bag. So I think that that will work for them. I don't need to keep them on a, I don't need to store, stack them on a design board. They can just go right in a plastic bag for when I need them. So that's set. I also have, recently I got one of Tula Pink's fussy cutting rulers, and this is a 8.5 inch ruler, and we have to trim to 8 inches for the blocks. So I'm going to keep that also in the project bin here so that I don't have to go hunt it up each time. I'm just going to use it for trimming. So that is here. Now I also got out, let me just make some room here, because I have these stacks. I have all of this fabric, but it can't all store in here. There's not enough room in here, so that means it has to go in my basket of the Halloween fabric. So that is fine. I have to go put this away and bring it out each time, and that's fine too. I can deal with that. So I need to sort these fabrics, and I think I'll put them all like at the end, because they're the new stuff that I know what I'm using. So this is the process I believe will be my first attempt. So we'll see for this whole group of them. I will get it all set up. Wish me luck. First thing I decided to do was take all of these extras here, and I will trim them to 1.5 inch squares so that they can be used later. So I'm going to be using this Quilt in a Day ruler, and what I'm doing is using the 1.5 mark, and that goes on the seam. So these are all the cutaways, and now I just place this on the seam, and I can trim like this, 2 sides. There we go. And then what I like to do is trim off the little dog ears. So I take it and I just do like this. I know you can flip the ruler and do it, but I found that this was just as effective, and then I don't have to take the time to flip the ruler around. So if you wanted to flip the ruler and trim them, you can do that. And that would be doing it like this. Actually, it's not trim, it's flipping the square. So if you want to trim them off, flipping the square, and then putting the 1.5 line again. But I just find I can eyeball it and it works totally fine. So I am going to do all of these, and then I have one baggie ready. So this baggie, I went ahead and put the fabric lines piece in here. I have the quarter square triangle pieces, and then I will put all of these half square triangles, once they're pressed, into this bag. And this will go into the blue project bin. So they will be here for me to use as I need them. But I want to get this done first. I don't want it laying around. I'm going to be generating these kind of things probably fairly often during the process, so I want to keep on top of it. So I'm thinking through the fabric that I want to use for this block for the medium and the small size. Because I have only a fat quarter bundle rather than a half yard bundle of the fabrics used for the project, I'm mixing in fabrics I own and will vary that. Sometimes I will mix a lot in, sometimes a little bit. So I realized I can use the extras from this hourglass block for the medium size. It'll be a little bit of waste, but I'm okay with that. I think I'd rather do that. And then I took a look at what else I have that would be similar. So I do have, and I use these in week 1, her fabric line from Magic #1, which works. And then I have this owl, which I think would be, whoops, put him up here. I think the owl would be really good for the center, so it gives that same orange feel. And then I need a gray. So I have this gray, but I think I'm going to take a look around and see what else I have. Then I can cut the medium and the small size for this. Then all I have left to do before I show you the rest is, you know, what I ended up with, how I set it up, is the other block for week 2, which is the capital T. So the capital T block, and that's the one I'll do. I have to cut all 3 of those. Everything is cut for week 1 and week 2 that I haven't sewn yet. Let me show you what I did. I used some of the big boards for week 1, the big block, and that's using the exact fabrics like the project, which is what I got in. So those 2, I put on the big ones because I'm going to sew those first. Then I went to week 2 and I cut the rest of the blocks that go with the one I already did. So, and I put all the blocks in a bag now. So this is the other 2 sizes of the Fool's whatever it was, Fool's Puzzle, I think. So I have those. And then the T block, I put on 2 different small boards. So these small boards can all be stacked and go into the top of the rolling cart as long as that red basket's not in there. So I can stack the red basket somewhere else, and these will just sit right in there till I get to them. I also went and pulled a few other grays that I'm going to put into the basket and store everything, because now I have got these fabrics. This will go with the parts bag in the blue container, and then all of these fabrics are going to go in that big basket. And then when we get to week 3, I will maybe have all of this sewn. That would be awesome. If not, I will at least have freed up some of these boards, and I can then cut week 3 all at the same time, because I found it was much more efficient to go through and here's the one that I haven't sewn any of this block yet, the T block. So I was able to cut all the white, then all the orange plaid, then all the black acorn. See how cute that acorn is? And then the gray, which I did these all identical except for the gray I switched out on the smallest one. And I found that way more efficient because I'm already reading across. So I just read across for the different sizes, and that worked out so much better than just cutting one and then cutting one later and getting everything out. So I will be doing this from now on. I definitely loved that process. Okay, now to put these things into the basket, put the basket away for a week, and then I just have the sewing part to do. I worked with this process last night, and it's perfect. Oh my goodness, it's gonna work. Here is one of the other blocks, well, the medium and the small, from the Fool's Puzzle. These are 10-inch and they fit just totally flat right in here with very easily. If I have the insert, they won't fit flat. They sort of tilt up a little bit like that. So I just doubled the insert down below. And then over here for the T block, I've got the big one, the medium, and the small. So I made the half square triangles, 1, 2, 3, just sort of chain piecing all the way through. And then I chain piece for the flying geese. Then I have another flying geese units chain piece. This was awesome. So awesome. Much, much faster than I thought it would be, and much easier and efficient and very, very enjoyable. Phew. So what do you think? What do you think? I am so pleased with how it turned out, with how that whole process of what I thought might work did, and also getting it sort of cleaned up, because even though it was only week 2, I sort of had some loose ends of things, and now it's all tidy so that when we start week 3, I can just right away, the biggest thing is to cut all the blocks, stack them up on those pieces and put them in the tray, or just start sewing some of them. And I think it is going to work perfectly. It no longer feels like a lot. It sort of felt like a lot. But once I realized I can do them chain piecing like that, all 3 blocks at once, it no longer feels like a lot. It feels very doable. Even if I don't get all of them done in a week, I certainly should. I mean, it really should work really well. So if you are looking at Midnight Moon and thinking you would like to do it, but you're not really sure, try what I'm doing and see how it works for you. So this is the book that we're sewing it from. I have the bigger medallion, or the bigger album one finished. I do need to trim it now. So that's the next, we'll have to press it and trim it. So I got this one done. So I am definitely going to be caught up for Saturday when we do the next blocks. Okay, last thing is the books are shipping. My books are shipping. The tantalizing table toppers. And the other thing is that there will be a book tour. So I have several friends who have made projects from the books in different fabrics that we'll show you. There'll be book giveaways on the tour. Plus, I will set up a sew along for this. Yes, but I have a few other things to get organized, so I don't have the details of that yet. I have to do these other things first, and then I can do this afterwards and figure out where it's going to flow. And I'm debating, I think it'll be like a sampler. We'll take a block from each thing, like we did the last book, because I think that works out really well. It's a lot of fun. I just am sort of looking at size. I think lap size, maybe smaller lap size, then you can add a border on it. That way, if you want to hang it instead, you'll be able to. But I think, something usable is a lot of fun. But I have to do the work to do all that layout and everything else. So it's coming. It'll be coming. All right, my friends, you're going to do shocking pink. Shocking pink. There you go. That's what you got for today on Secret Lives of Color. And pick that one basket. Just one, like I have. And tidy it up. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.